Join us on our first international trip with kids. Our destinations include London, Paris, Venice, Florence, and Rome. In this video, we will show you some of our London highlights. Our journey began early in the morning at the Phoenix airport. We traveled with carry-ons only, so we did not need to stop by to check in any bags. We headed directly to the TSA pre-check security line, thanks to our Capital One Venture card, which provided the credit to pay for it. Kids do not need their own pre-check. They can go through with their parents as long as they are on the same reservation. Since we were flying United Business Polaris, we had access to the United Lounge at the airport. By the way, we only paid $22.40 total for all 4 business seats, thanks to the points that we earned via the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Business Ink cards. And no, we do not overspend or get into debt to earn these points. We earn them through our everyday personal and business expenses. If you want to learn more about how to earn a lot of points and miles, then visit my Instagram at 4aroundtheglobe. That's 4_around_the_globe. This was our first time flying first class, and boy, was it a treat. On our way back home, we flew economy, and we will fly economy again on a few upcoming international trips. While flying business class was amazing, it also cost a lot more points, so we would rather fly more in economy than less in business. Anyway, at the lounge, we had a small snack since the girls were hungry, but not too much since we would be getting breakfast on the plane. This was also our first time in a lounge, and how do you go back to just waiting at the gate after this? Seriously, we're spoiled for life. Since we were flying first class, we were able to pre-order our meal, which was really nice as we didn't have to wait for the girls to make up their minds on the spot. Once we landed in Chicago, we headed straight to the United Polaris Lounge. This lounge blew our minds. They have a restaurant, a bar, a buffet, really nice bathrooms, and showers. And it's, of course, all included. We had a long layover, about 3 hours and a half, so we ate lunch at the lounge. And after a while, we went to walk around the terminal and then came back to the lounge to await our boarding time. We finally boarded our flight, and the flight attendants could not have been any nicer and more attentive to our girls. The seats lie flat, so we were able to sleep for a few hours, and the amenities kit included socks, an eye mask, toothbrush, lotion, and lip balm. After about an hour in the air, dinner service started. We had warm nuts, then our main course, and an ice cream sundae to finish. After dinner, it was lights out and time to get some rest. After a few hours of sleep, we had breakfast. Upon arrival at the London Heathrow Airport, we headed to the United Polaris Arrivals Lounge. We got in at 5:55 in the morning, so at the lounge, we took a shower. And because it was so early, there were only a couple of other people there, so we did not feel rushed. While we showered, a staff member ironed our clothes. How cool is that? We weren't really hungry as we had just had breakfast, but did try a smoothie and a chia pudding. Once we were ready, we took the Heathrow Express into Paddington Station. From there, we transferred to the Tube, or the Metro, to the Blackfriars Station, which was literally right across the street from our hotel. Public transportation is super easy in London. For the Heathrow Express, I purchased the tickets way in advance, and since the kids ride free with an adult, it was only $30 or so for all 4 of us. Kids are free on the Tube as well. They just walk in with you through the family/handicap turnstiles. We stayed at the Hyatt Regency London Blackfriars, and we paid for 2 connecting rooms, entirely with points. We enjoyed breakfast at the hotel, which is included if you're a Hyatt Globalist or if you stay in a suite with club access. The location is amazing, only about a 5 minutes walk to St. Paul's Cathedral and the Millennium Bridge, aka the Harry Potter Bridge. After dropping our bags off at the hotel, we went to church where our youngest slept through the whole service. It was a good power nap for her. Then we were off to find some fish and chips. We then went back to the hotel since our room was ready. After getting settled in, we went to the market right across the street to buy some bottled water. We took a stroll through the neighborhood and stopped at McDonald's for dinner. We don't really eat McDonald's at home very often, so this was a treat for my girls. I do have to say though that McDonald's overseas is a lot better than in the US. And that is a wrap for day 1. Day 2. After a good night's sleep, it was time to fully explore London. We purchased the 2-day London City passes because it came out to be almost the same amount as what we would have paid for the attractions we wanted to do the most. Yet, it gave us flexibility to add additional things if we wanted to. Plus, I erased the purchase with city thank you points, so we didn't really pay anything for them. We first headed over to Buckingham Palace to see the changing of the guard. They only do this on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays in the morning. You can check the internet for an updated schedule. After the palace, we hopped on the big red bus, which is included with the city pass. It was a great way to see the highlights of the city, and our kids really enjoyed it. We hopped off at Harrods, where we bought some lunch. They don't really have anywhere to sit inside the cafeteria area, but we walked outside and found a place to sit and enjoy lunch. And don't worry, lots of people will be doing the same, so you won't stand out as some weirdo having lunch outside. We then hopped back onto the bus and hopped off at the Tower of London. Our kids really love the Tower of London, and of course were in awe of the crown jewels on display. After a few hours there, we hopped back on the bus, went to find dinner, and then went to the Princess Diana Memorial Park, where the kids got to play for a bit. After that, we found some gelato, then hopped onto the tube to get back to the hotel, and that wrapped up day 2. Day 3 began with a visit to St. Paul's Cathedral. As I mentioned before, it's only about a 5-minute walk from the hotel, so we made it a point to get there right for opening time. The entrance is included with the city pass, but you do pay extra if you want to go to the top. We did not, but we still enjoyed it. It is a beautiful cathedral and the girls loved exploring it. After the cathedral, we got on the hop-on hop-off bus and went to the Postal Museum. This was a maybe on our list, just depending on how tired the girls were and what they were feeling up to. It is also included in the city pass. Getting there was a bit of a walk from the drop-off point of the hop-on hop-off bus and even from the closest tube station. I would say about 15 minutes. But our girls had so much fun there. It's a small museum, but it's very interactive, and our girls asked if we could go again. After the museum, we took the tube to the Borough Market, where we grabbed lunch and the delicious chocolate-covered strawberries. I had been eyeing these strawberries for a long time, and they did not disappoint. They are kid-approved too. We grabbed some meat pies for lunch. However, there aren't tables and chairs at the market to eat, so we just found a spot on the floor somewhere, and that's where we sat to eat. Don't worry, you won't be the only one doing that. The market was busy, but it was raining, so it wasn't as busy as usual. If you go on a non-rainy day, I would suggest going to the market when they open rather than later in the day, as I can only imagine how much more crowded it must be. After walking through the market, we took the hop-on hop-off bus again. Since it was raining on and off, this was a good way to see the rest of the city. Once it stopped raining, we got off the bus and did some walking and exploring. After a while, we headed to the hotel to change and get ready for our afternoon tea at the Savoy. Our girls love to play tea time, so we thought it would be a neat experience to do the real thing. I made reservations in advance and timed it so it would be at our typical dinner time, which is early for our kids at around 5 p.m., and it worked out perfectly. Now, the Savoy is expensive. It was $351 for 4 of us. However, I erased the expense with Capital One Venture points, so it was really free for us. The service at the Savoy was nothing short of excellent, and the atmosphere was great. They were great with the girls, and they absolutely loved it. So, for afternoon tea, you get a few different sandwiches, scones with clotted cream, which are delicious, dessert, and of course tea or hot chocolate. You can ask for more sandwiches if you like. I did get some more of the Coronation chicken sandwiches because they are really good. But overall, we were pretty full with what we got served. So, is it worth it? Well, the Coronation chicken, the hot chocolate, the herbal tea, and the hazelnut dessert were amazing. Everything else was meh or really truly not good. Hence why I ordered more of the Coronation chicken because I couldn't eat the other sandwiches. I would not recommend it if you're paying out of pocket for it. Maybe try the Ritz afternoon tea instead. I've heard it's good. Or the afternoon tea double-decker bus. You get to experience afternoon tea while sightseeing. We will not be doing this again, but it was a fun experience. It was pouring when we got there and when we left, so we went straight back to the hotel to unwind and prepare for an exciting day 4. Day 4. This is the day all of us were really looking forward to the most. After breakfast, we made our way to the tube station to begin our journey to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter Studios. I'll make another video with more details on booking tickets, how to get there, how much time you should spend there, etc. And I'll link it below once I get it ready. We had tickets for 10 a.m. and we got there right on time. The studios are located outside of London, but getting there via the tube and train and the studio bus was super easy. The studios are amazing. There's so much to see and so much to do. We spent 5 hours at the studio, but we could have easily spent a lot longer. We sped through some of the exhibits just so that we could see everything, but you can certainly be there longer and not get bored. The studio has a cafe, so we grabbed some lunch there, along with some butterbeer and some butterbeer ice cream. The food was actually really good and the prices were reasonable. Once we had gone through the entire studio, we ended up in the gift shop. Our girls had saved money and sold things at a yard sale to add to what they already had, since they knew they wanted to get some things at the studio. After our purchases, we made our way to the bus stop, which took us straight into the train station so we could make our way back into London. It was a fantastic experience and an amazing way to wrap up not only day 4, but our last full day in London as well. The next morning, we headed to the St. Pancras train station to catch the Eurostar to Paris, where we continued our European adventure. Stay tuned for the Parisian leg of our trip. And don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful as you plan your next family trip. And subscribe if you'd like to be notified when the next video is posted. See you in the next adventure around the globe.